Hi guys, this is gsno.com and I'm here with the unboxing of the Motorola Edge 30 Ultra, because nowadays a Pro version is not enough, we have to have an Ultra. This is the very first phone with a 200 megapixel camera at the back side. Yes, you heard it correctly, now we have phones which go up to 200 megapixels in a sensor. Now, it's made by Samsung, this sensor, it's called ISOCELL HP1. There will be an HP3 present on the Galaxy S23 Ultra, so this is the precursor of that sensor. This is the Motorola Edge 30 Ultra, and it's got to be a flagship with, well, something for everyone. Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, 125 watt charging, and a bright and generous with refresh rate screen. Also, it feels like a bit of a throwback to the original Motorola Edge on account of the very curved design with very slim frame. Okay, so we're going to see what's in the box, some first impressions, and see what the fuss is about with that 200 megapixel camera. By the way, you may be acquainted to this model from its Chinese version, where it's called, well, the Motorola X30 Pro. But in Europe it's Motorola Edge 30 Ultra. Okay, so in the box we have the following. We start off with the case, which is this one here, making you realize that you don't have to have a huge module for this brand new sensor. You have a key used to access the slots and a bunch of manuals and useful information. Wait till you see how big the charger is. It's this one here, it's rather heavy, would easily charge a gaming laptop, and as you can see written on it, it's not 25 watts, but rather 125 watts, a bit of a record for Motorola. But not a record for us, we've seen two phones with 150 watts this year. A Realme phone and the OnePlus 10T. USB-C connector here, by the way. Now we go further when we find here the cable going from USB-C to USB-C, no surprise, and well, that's about it. That's everything we had in the box. Now the Motorola Edge 30 Ultra is a bit of a camera phone and at the same time a bit of a productivity phone on account of it having the Ready for platform available. Well, let's get straight to it. Obviously, with it being a flagship, we have a back side made of glass, a front side made of curved glass, and in between a very slim metal frame which protrudes quite a lot but also helps you with the grip. Now this handset here is very slim. How slim? Well, I would say that it's around 7 millimeters, maybe even lower than that. And the weight should be around 200 grams. It's a long and narrow phone, which once again reminds me of the Motorola Edge original models. Now, as far as the design is concerned, I already mentioned everything here. We should also have some splash and dust resilience. And the screen I'm playing with is a 6.7-inch OLED with up to 144 Hz refresh rate, which would be a boon for gamers. The resolution sticks to Full HD. Sadly, I don't like the way it's curved. For me, having a too curved panel means you're not going to have a comfy gaming experience. Now, aside from that, let's see what CPU we have here. It's the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, made by TSMC on a 4nm technology, and also it's a 10% bump in performance from the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. The version we have here has 12 gigs of RAM and 256 GB of storage UFS 3.1. Sadly, no love for microSD on this slim phone. Now the battery is a 4610 mAh unit with that crazy 125 watt wire charging. On paper you're supposed to reach with it 50% charge in a mere 7 minutes. And after about 19 minutes you should be done with the whole charging process, which is pretty impressive. By the way, we also get 50 watt wireless charging, just so you know. We don't have an audio jack, but we do have the promise of Dolby Atmos and stereo speakers. This is the bottom one with a quite unusual cutout here. And the top one is the one here at the top side, the slit for the earpiece. We also have an in-display optical fingerprint scanner, which is just being put to the test now. And we're getting on the connectivity side the usual Wi-Fi 6E. There's also Bluetooth 5.2 or even 5.3. There's 5G, there's USB-C 3.1, NFC, GPS, and the other useful and typical features. As far as the productivity is concerned, we're getting Ready For, which is Motorola's platform, and a way of turning your phone monitor and phone display, or rather said the phone TV combo, into a productivity environment. You will just connect a mouse and keyboard and connect the phone to the TV set, and you should be done with a special desktop environment, which even includes a bunch of resizable windows. You can do gaming on it, you can do calls via Google Duo and more, or you can even use the phone as a webcam for your PC, stream apps, use a mobile desktop, and do instant tethering. Now, leaving that aside, I think it's time to address finally the camera. Let's tweak the brightness a bit more here. Now, the front camera sounds impressive. It's a 60 megapixel shooter, but I've seen that on the Motorola Edge 30 Pro. It films in 4K, by the way. If you go to the back side, this giant here is a 200 megapixel sensor. Samsung ISOCELL HP1, f2.0 aperture, optical image stabilization, and also phase detection autofocus. Below it, there are two sensors. There's a 50 megapixel ultra wide one and also a 12 megapixel telephoto 2x zoom one, which feels a bit limited if you ask me. We have the dual tone dual LED flash here, and the sensor here measures 1/1.22 inches, and it has an interesting way of combining the pixels. I mean, we have a 4x4 setup, which makes 16 pixels combined into one. But wait, there's more. So the regular pixels are 0.64 micron, and if you combine them, you get 1.28 micron pixels for 50 megapixel shots. However, you can also take 12.5 megapixel shots at 2.5 micron pixels, which is gigantic and very important for low light capture. And you also have double the number of focus pixels. The More section of the app, the camera app, includes options like panorama, dual capture, photo and video, night vision, scan, spot color, video and photo, 200 megapixel shots in a full resolution, and time-lapse. Now, the Pro mode features these levels of zoom, exposure, ISO. You also get white balance and focus. You can take a raw capture. You have a portrait mode here. This is the photo section. And you can also take macros, possibly using the ultra-wide camera with autofocus. And this is the video area where you can tweak the resolution from 4K to 8K and Full HD. As far as I know, this is not 8K in 24 FPS, it's actually in 30 FPS. So let's actually check it out. Yes, I was scared for a moment that it would have 8K in 60 frames per second. Slow motion is also treated to an extra option of 960 frames per second. And I want to check out something I'm very curious with. I go to the More section, take an ultra-res shot. I want to find out just how big a 200 megapixel photo is. Just how much storage space it takes. And let's see. 31 megabytes. That's how much a picture like this takes. And I'm guessing that if you take a shot of a more complicated scenery, you could even take more than that. Now on the software front, this is Android 12. Motorola is keeping it stock, except for the Moto App, where you can do these personalization options. You got your layout, fonts, colors, icon shapes, sounds, display size, font size, and system theme. You can also get the material you features. Basically, take the colors from the wallpaper and apply them to menus and icons. These are the gestures. We've seen them on Motorola phones before, quite useful. And this is the display area where you have the peak display, attentive display, and edge lights. So if you put the phone like this on a flat surface, you're still seeing part of the curved screen, which can work as a notification light. You also have gaming features here, a bunch of useful tools to improve your gaming experience. If you ask me, it's vital to block accidental touches on a curved panel like this. Plus, we also have video call effects and Dolby Atmos with the enhancements you can see here for the loudspeakers. That's pretty much it. This is a revolution. We're switching gears from 108 megapixels to 200, and I'm curious what this main camera can do. Hopefully, it can also have some nifty cropping instead of the disappointing 2x optical zoom we got here. Well, that's it from us. My first impression is that the phone is easy to wield thanks to its protruding frame. The camera module is smaller than expected for such a huge resolution sensor, and I have a good feeling about this phone's fast charge and high refresh rate for gaming. but the core remains the revolutionary sensor, which actually will predict how the people will enjoy or not the Galaxy S23 Ultra or the Xiaomi 12T Pro in the second part of the year. That's it from us. This has been the presentation and unboxing of the Motorola Edge 30 Ultra in black. Goodbye.